Welcome to patch 3.9, the patch that's pretty much changed nothing about supports, but has changed things about supporting. The changes to wards and oracles actually indirectly and directly kind of impacts the way a support is played. So let's kind of talk about those changes. If you don't believe me that there's been no changes with supports, I mean, the biggest thing you could talk about is this tooltip change to Thresh, and this is some like hot press right here. That's like not even like worth talking about. Visions and sight wards and also Wriggle's lantern wards have now been increased by 5 gold each, because half of 12 or 25 and half of 15 is like 7.5 and 12.5. They're not really clean numbers, they're kind of ugly, so it's easier just to buff it to 30 because it makes it cleaner. However, there's some changes to the way that you get gold from killing of wards. The person who kills the ward gets 50% of 30 or 20, so they get half. The person who's either holding the Oracle's Elixir or has the Vision Ward out, or place Vision Ward, gets the other 50%. So if I go up, didn't place the Vision Ward, don't have an Oracles, kill a ward, I get 15 gold. The person who placed or had the Oracles gets the other 15. If I do both, if I go up with my Oracles or my Vision Ward and I kill the ward and also placed it or had the Oracles, I get 30 or 20. So nice little change. It doesn't really mean anything. I feel like they're kind of like trying to help out supports when it's not really that big of a deal. I don't know. I don't see this as being a big deal. I give shit to people who take my wards and stuff like that, but I don't really care. It's really whatever. 25 gold isn't that much. However, the big change is to Oracle's Elixir. It no longer expires on death. To compensate, the duration has been reduced to 4 minutes from 5, and the range overall has been reduced from 750 to 600. Also, it now displays how big the radius is. Nice, I like that, it's cool, makes sense. But the bigger portion of this that I think is kind of cute is that you can now actually start Oracle's Elixir with some type of viability to it. I've always joked about, man, what if I just bought an Oracle's Elixir level 1? Like, it's stupid because if you die, you're screwed and you just wasted 400 gold. But now that it no longer expires on death, means that there's actually some viability to it, because you're no longer playing the gambling game as you were before. You could start Oracle's Elixir, 1 ward, 1 potion, and basically just try and set up ganks for jungler. If your jungler ain't gonna gank, you got a Warwick. This is stupid. It's silly baloney pants stuff. But if you have like a Lee Sin who's starting red buff who may gank your bot lane level 2, this could be something you could do. I may try it. It seems really cheesy and kind of cute. But that's something that's actually going to come out of this. And also now you will see a lot more junglers get oracles. You may see much earlier oracles in solo queue because you don't have to be as reliant on your team. The big problem with getting oracles early before was if your team doesn't do shit for you, if you try and go on D-Ward Baron or D-Ward Dragon for example, you are a walking bullseye and the team is likely to try and ambush you or catch you out of position. So you are kind of more team reliant with the old system, less team reliant now because you're not as punished as harshly if you die with an oracle. So really the only changes to supporting as of now. To kind of talk, I guess, about tweaking champions and supports, I want to talk about kind of tweaking Thresh a little bit. Thresh right now is a champion to me that is an OP, but is very much... How am I going to put this? He has too much room for error for being an aggressive support. If you miss your Q on Blitzcrank or you miss your E on Leona, you're kind of screwed. You don't have very much zoning potential anymore. With Thresh, you still have ways to output pressure because you are a ranged champion, and he has too much kind of luxury with that. So what are some ways we could kind of tweak him or kind of bring him down a little bit without kind of hitting his overall abilities? One of it would be reducing his base health. At level 1 with 0921, he has the same amount of health, practically. He has 3 less health than Alistar. More than Leona, who has about 550. More than Blitzcrank, who I think is like 530, 550 or something. So he has more base health than a lot of supports. And about the same base health as like Taric, Nunu, and Alistar level 1. That's kind of silly for being a ranged champion with a lot of CC and disruption. So reducing his base health, or his base health scaling, would kind of set him on par with some champions. If he's more brought down to Leona's level, or maybe even Blitz's level, he'd be a little bit less, have a little bit less room for error in that regard. Also, his base movement speed doesn't make much sense. He is a ranged champion who has a hook mechanic, who also has a lot of CC and disruption, is also quite tanky. Blitzcrank, Nautilus, both champions with hooks and a lot of CC and disruption, both 325. Alistar, tanky, with a lot of CC and disruption, 330. Lulu, Zyra, both ranged champions with some CC and disruption, both 325. Why does Thresh have more base movement speed than most supports and 80 carries in the game? Yet he's a tanky range champion who has a lot of CC disruption. I don't know. So, if there was any ways that I would ever tweak Thresh if I was a designer, those would be my 2 ways without really touching his abilities too much. So, just kind of wanted to finish on that. Hopefully you start doing the oracles first start, because I want to see people in solo queue do that, because I think that's hilarious as shit. But anyways, let's just patch 3.9. I mean, shit, maybe you play Pantheon support, where now this fixed to where Spirit Shot not scaling with bonus crit damage when critting below 15% health is the biggest improvement ever. I don't know. Just take it easy. Because I don't even know anymore. Oh, he no longer travels through some walls. Holy shit, that's amazing.